friends, and welcome to Collecting with Stan. And today's I'm doing another open tag video today. Hopefully you watched my Get Jiggy earlier. This one's a Thankful Thursday open tag from Singing Toad. And I said that I'd found my dad's old pocket knife in the Getting Jiggy, and I have. It's an old Imperial. Like I said, it's nothing fancy. It's just a little, it's bigger than a peanut. I'd call it a jackknife. You know, it's got the two blades. They're both, because like I said, my mom didn't start this in a good spot. And they're really, you know, but you can see the usage and the patina on it. And what I thought I wanted to do is for my Thankful Thursday, I was just going to put it out there, being thankful for my dad. Before I started cleaning this up, though, I just wanted to show it to y'all. And, you know, my dad, he was old. I mean, I was his last child. He was 56 when he had me. He is actually older than I am now. I couldn't imagine having a child when I'm that, even the age I am now, you know. But he's a good guy. You know, he retired roughly, 6 years after I was born because he made it to 62. And he still repaired clocks and watches out of the house as an additional source of income. Constantly, always working. I mean, he'd be up at 5:30, 6 o'clock every morning down there working on clocks and watches. About the only day he didn't is he'd maybe sleep in till like 7:30 on Sunday before we went to church. And then he'd always do something afterwards, unless we had company or something. He was just a good guy. Was he a perfect father? No, he made mistakes. I think all of us as parents that are parents and just as human beings, we make mistakes, but we do what we know how to do at that moment, and then sometimes we realize later on that we made an oopsie. I'm going to start cleaning on the back here. You can see that I just got some Neverdall here, and just kind of a story time. My dad never beat me by any means. In fact, I only recall 3 times where he spanked me or use physical means to get my attention, whether it's a slap across the face or, smack on the butt. But, he's very old school. He's born in 1916. He served in World War II. Shoot, he had literally, excuse me, served in the Army, got out, and then got back in for World War II. He is in 101st Airborne. He is an airborne engineer. He is a jump master. If you don't know, a jump master is the guy that tells everybody stand up, hook up, and shuffle to the door and jump out, So there's many a times he is the last one out of the plane. As far as the paratroopers, because, what his job was. He's a good guy. He is a hero, in my opinion, But, like I said, he wasn't perfect. He made some mistakes. I think honestly, as time went by, I think he figured he should have probably stayed working for maybe like another 3 or 4 years. But, he was starting to slow down. He worked at the state mental hospital as an orderly. I think he has a low level, like they're not full on nurses, but they can like give shots and stuff. He had some medical, I can't remember what they call it. He had some medical training, though, to where he was able to, do different things. But like he worked in the violent wards where like the people would like just about every day hit you, bite you, kick you, and he realized he is slowing down. I remember him telling me this story even as he got older, and I think it's kind of his way for apologizing that he didn't stay longer because, I missed out on a lot of opportunities. And it's the fact that we didn't have a lot of money. We were never a rich family, but we always had what we needed. There's always food on the table. There's always love. Oh my gosh. Like I said, even the times that I got, his hand to my butt or smacked across the face, when he'd hit my face, it wasn't nearly as hard. It was just get my attention, and that was only once. That's actually kind of a funny story. Tell you the difference between times now and then. I had to be 4, 5, 6, something like that, just old enough I can remember it. My mom had some type of surgery or wasn't feeling good, and Dad and I had to go to the store. So, I'm that little kid fussing and mumbling and just being a little jackass. We're in the line to check out, and my dad had enough. He had told me to shut up like 4 or 5 times. And I said something, and he popped me on the back of the head. And, honestly, not hard. I think it startled me more than anything. I started crying. The lady in front of us turns around. Now, mind you, this is like 1978, okay? Lady in front of us turns around and goes, "You should be ashamed of yourself hitting that child." This is the first time I ever heard my dad use a bad word, He looked straight at her and said, "Bitch, shut your mouth or you're next." I was even as a little kid, I was like, but that's just a difference in times. Because, if you did that nowadays, one, you'd probably go to jail for smacking your kid. And you know what? I deserved it. I know I deserved it. And he didn't do it to hurt me. Like I said, I don't even recall it actually hurting. It startled the hell out of me, because like I said, I only remember, gosh, he spanked me twice, both those I deserved. And it wasn't out of meanness, it was like 4 swats on the ass, but his hands were like rocks, And then I got a couple times on the back of the head, or this kind of nothing. No, usually it just startled me, but I can honestly only recall maybe 4 times, if that, total spankings. My mom was more of the disciplinarian. My dad was, if it got past my mom and went to my dad, that's when I knew I was not going to enjoy it. Yeah, I'm going to have to put this in some type of cleaner to get it better. I cleaned up some. But yeah, I just want to, I'm thankful for my dad. I'm thankful for the way he was, the way he, the old school. Honestly helped me when I went to the Marine Corps boot camp. I didn't expect to be treated nicely in boot camp, and honestly, we weren't. They had certain things they could and couldn't do. But if it wouldn't have been for him, I wouldn't be the man I am. And I'm not perfect either. Hell, if anything, I'm probably one of the most imperfect people you ever meet. But I try to be a good person. I try to have good values. I still open doors, not only for ladies, but for everybody. If I happen to be there, especially if I see their hands are full. And excuse me. I try to be a gentleman. Notice I said try. I struggle sometimes, but I don't know if I'd be that way if it wasn't for him and the old school bringing up that I had. He lived through the Depression. So a lot of his things, he always wanted a little bit extra if he could. He saved everything. I got buckets of old nails bent and twisted that I'm probably just going to throw out because I'm not going to ever use them. I might end up regretting it, but why keep them? When right now in these times I can go buy another bucket, where I can go buy some new ones and find them. Maybe that's stupid. The one thing he did do, though, he kept old bolts and stuff. I got buckets and buckets of old bolts and nuts. Those are so handy. What I should do is actually go through them, take one day and just kind of go through them and sort them, and maybe do a little chat while I'm sorting and going through them, because those old bolts and stuff come in super handy when you need them. You don't have to go buy new ones. You have them because because usually, excuse me, when you need a bolt or a nut, you only need one. So it's like, you don't want to go buy a box. You don't want to drive into the hardware store to buy one. So that's handy to have. But no, he's a good guy, and I'm thankful for my dad. I'm thankful for my mom too, but that's a different story time. I'll do that some other day. But for this Thankful Thursday, I'm thankful for my dad. Thankful for my friends here on YouTube. You all really help me have a better day, and I appreciate it. Well, with that all being said, show us what you're thankful for. Come on, do this open tag with the singing toad there, okay? It's cool. I appreciate y'all. Live long, prosper, and collect your own way.